before coins, before banks, before Europe ever reached African shores, Africa already had money, not borrowed, not improvised, but built over centuries by civilizations that understood value, trade, investment, and wealth. This is not the Africa taught in school. This is Africa before the interruption. In Africa, money did not begin as paper or coin. It began as value, rooted in labor, scarcity, and social trust. Across the continent, Africans developed sophisticated monetary systems. Cowrie shells in West and Central Africa, gold dust weighed with precision scales in the Sahel, iron rods, copper crosses, salt bars, cloth beads, each with defined worth. They were not symbols, they were currencies. In the Kingdom of Congo, Nzimbu shells were counted, stored, taxed, and controlled by the state. In Mali and Ghana, gold dust moved through markets with regulated measures and prices. Money was not abstract, it was tangible, accountable, and integrated into daily life. African economies were not isolated, they were connected internally and globally. Trans-Saharan trade routes linked West Africa to North Africa and the Mediterranean centuries before Europe's so-called Age of Discovery. Gold, salt, leather, koala nuts, and textiles moved across thousands of miles. Markets were regulated, merchants formed networks, wealth was reinvested in cities, learning centers, and governance. Timbuktu was not a myth, it was a financial and intellectual hub. Africans invested in infrastructure, education, technology, and intergenerational wealth. This was not barter chaos, this was economic order. Money in Africa was never just economic, it was social, spiritual, and political. Currency played roles in marriage, diplomacy, conflict resolution, and community responsibility. Wealth was measured not only by accumulation but by distribution. Status came with obligation. Economic power was tied to stewardship, not excess. This balance sustained societies for generations until it was deliberately destabilized. Then came the interruption. European traders did not enter empty systems. They entered functioning economies and exploited them. Cowrie shells were mass imported to destabilize local currencies. European trade goods distorted value. Human beings were turned into commodities. Colonial rule imposed foreign currencies, taxation systems, and extraction economies. Indigenous money systems were dismantled, not because they failed, but because they worked too well without Europe. Africa's wealth did not disappear, it was removed. The consequences remain. Across the African continent and the Black diaspora, economic gaps are often framed as failure, but history tells another story. When systems of wealth are interrupted, generations pay the cost. Yet, traces remain. Cowries in art and ritual, collective economics in communities, movements for financial self-determination. The memory of African money never vanished, it was suppressed. Africa did not begin with poverty, it began with prosperity. To understand the future of Black wealth, we must first reclaim the truth of our past. This is not nostalgia, this is history. And history, once remembered, cannot be erased.